After the disintegration of the Kinks in 1995, Ray and Dave Davis pursued solo careers as singer-songwriters.
I think he's a very smart guy and he should be doing more. Really, he should have gone solo years ago.
The brothers would lead separate lives until one day, Ray made a bad decision on the streets of New Orleans.
There was one incident involving a 59-year-old man identified as Ray Davies, who was walking in the 1400 block of Burgundy Street, Faubourg-Marigny Triangle, with a female.
This guy came up to him and knocked him over, knocked his girlfriend over, and took their money and ran off. And, you know, Ray Davies is, since 1964, he's been on this mission not to let anybody else run off with his money.
Mr. Davies apparently ran behind the man when one of them turned and shot him in the right thigh.
When Ray was shot, I called him up in the hospital. I was on tour myself at the time, and I felt so emotional for him.
It was very serious. It could have killed him. You know, they didn't realize that his leg was fractured in the hospital. They got him up to go to the bathroom, and the leg shattered as he was trying to walk to the bathroom.
I felt so wanted him to be okay, you know, like sort of. We all had motherly things, even men, you know, that motherly thing of protection. That's it. And but I was going through my own bad shit as well.
Only a few months after Ray's shooting incident, fate came calling for his brother.
And they were coming down in the elevator, as far as I can understand it, and all of a sudden, Dave just went white and collapsed on the floor.
And I'm sure a lot of people thought that was the end of Dave. When I came out of hospital, I stayed with my sister Dolly for a few months, and then I stayed with Ray for a while. It was good for a while. He's quite a good cook, not a bad cook.
These near brushes with death brought the brothers closer together.
I'm sure Ray would not admit that it was a life-changing experience to be shot in the leg in New Orleans.
I think destiny may have played some kind of bizarre role here in them both getting ill at the same moment and maybe bringing them together.
My perceptions, my life changed drastically.
Dave's work began to reflect a new spirituality.
I've just finished a film and it's got a lot of music in it, and I'm very excited about the music in it. It's autobiographical, my spiritual path, like since childhood. I'm very happy with what I'm doing now. Just let things go eventually.
It also seems to have made Ray more content with his legacy, that he is happy to go out and play older Kinks songs and to take the credit for it and accept the credit and enjoy it.
I miss you too, darling.
His conspicuous work rate seems to have increased since that shooting. You know, he had been working on a solo album for 10 years. That there was no firm release date for it, kept being put back and put back and put back. And then, you know, within 18 months of the shooting, that solo LP appears, and then 18 months later, another solo LP appears.
In 2006, Ray releases the solo album Other People's Lives, and in 2007, he releases another solo album, Working Man's Cafe.
The songs started to emerge. There were some really interesting songs coming out at that time.
His latest album, Working Man's Cafe, it's nostalgia for working class culture that has been destroyed. You know, there's this real nostalgia for, you know, the family that he grew up in and the class that he grew up in, which has been none of which exists anymore.
There's a strain that runs through all of Ray Davies' writing after a certain point, where he's basically saying, I don't belong in this world. I was not made for these times. I do not feel comfortable.
You know, I was talking to someone yesterday and they say, if you're over 21, you don't exist, which is kind of sad, really, because it just indicates the way the culture's going here. But I'm kind of optimistic.
Dave, on the other hand, had published an autobiographical book titled Kink and released a solo album, Fractured Minds.
I got an idea for the first song for Fractured Minds, which was the title of the album, when I was lying on my back. I originally sold it on the website, my website. That's what I love about the internet. You can write a song in a hospital bed and put it out 3 months later or a month later.
New technology like the internet would help both Ray and Dave keep in touch with their fans.
I think the Kinks audience also either expressed through downloads or through blogging or through the internet. And, you know, Ray has been very careful to have a site that people can come to and talk to one another. You know, they seem to be a group that find a repeating young audience.
One question that remained on the blogosphere: would the band ever get over their lifelong differences and reunite?
A couple of years go by and I started reading rumours and people that Ray wants to get the Kinks back together.